Mom, starting tomorrow, these are your responsibilities in this house. The words landed in me like cold water, even before I finished reading the paper my daughter placed in my hands. It was not a suggestion, and it was not a request. It was a verdict, delivered without mercy, inside the walls of the home I built with my own life. My daughter, standing in front of me, calm, detached, already finished with the conversation before it truly began. "If you do not agree, you can pack your things and leave," she said, as if she were talking about moving a chair. "This house needs someone useful, not someone who just takes up space." My hands shook as I read the list. Hour after hour, my life reduced to tasks. 6 in the morning, breakfast. 7, dress kids, school. 8, cleaning. 9, laundry. 10, lunch. Every minute of the day claimed until night, when I would still be ironing clothes for tomorrow. And from the couch, without even looking up, my son-in-law added that all expenses were my responsibility too. That was what my pension was for. I stood in my living room, the same room where I held my daughter for the first time, where I watched her blow out candles, where I dried her tears after her first heartbreak. And now she looked at me like a stranger, calculating, efficient, unmoved. "You do not have much time to decide, Mom," she said. "At your age, where else would you go on $600 a month?" The threat was clear: serve or disappear. In my own house, with my name on the deed, I was being cornered into becoming invisible. My grandchildren played on the floor, untouched by the cruelty unfolding beside them. One of them looked up and asked if I was making snacks. The normalcy was brutal. To them, I was already the helper, not the grandmother, not the woman who worked 40 years to give them this roof. I wanted to scream. I wanted to remind them of everything I gave, but my voice stayed buried somewhere deep inside my chest. They called it organization. They called it family roles. They called it fair. They took my room next, said it made sense, said I did not need space, said it was better for everyone. The word everyone never included me. They planned my weekends, too. They planned my Sundays away from the house so they could feel like a real family without me. That night, I stared at the ceiling, thinking about how love slowly turned into obligation, how kindness became expectation, how saying yes too many times erased my right to say no. They came to me 2 years ago, desperate, hugging me, calling me their salvation, promising it was temporary. At first, it felt good to not be alone. Then, slowly, they stopped asking. Then, slowly, they started assuming. Then, slowly, I stopped existing. I cleaned at 3 in the morning while he ate cereal from the box and left crumbs for me to wipe away. I paid for groceries while they saved for vacations. I watched them leave for hotels while I stayed with lists and rules and timers. When his mother arrived, it was final. She walked in like a queen and looked at me like staff. She took my bed, my space, my morning, and demanded breakfast I could not afford. When I said I did not have the money, the room went silent, like I had committed a crime. That was when something broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a quiet crack inside me where fear used to live. I said, "Okay, I'll go to the store." And I walked out, not to buy food, but to reclaim myself. I sat in a lawyer's office with my hands folded and my heart racing, and for the first time in months, someone listened. He called it what it was: elder abuse, exploitation, and he said something I had forgotten. "This is your house." I walked out taller. I changed my bank access. I canceled permissions. I returned home with no bags, but with something stronger than groceries. I said, "We need to talk." And this time, they heard it in my voice. I was not their employee. I was not their solution. I was not their silence. I was the owner. I was the mother. I was still here. And for the first time in a very long time, I was no longer afraid to say no.